Hi everyone, this is Nurse Cat. Welcome to my channel. So today we are going to talk about how to organize 12-hour shift handling patient ratio of 1 is to 6. When I started here in the United States, the hospital that I've been to in the Med-Surg floor, we have 6 patient ratio. So, just a heads up for those international nurses who are planning to come here in the US, most of the hospitals or facilities that will hire international nurses are those hospitals that are really in need of nurses. It means they aren't able to find a local nurses who apply on that particular position. That's why they have to outsource international nurses in order to fill a particular position. And most often than not, the hospitals that are hiring these nurses has a high nurse-patient ratio. So, not all. Hindi ko naman nila lahat. There are some hospitals that are trying their best to get nurse-patient ratio 1 is to 4 or 1 is to 5 in a med-surg floor. But most often, there are hospitals that are hiring international nurses with 1 is to 6 nurse-patient ratio in a med-surg floor. I believe some hospitals down the south is they are even extending to 1 is to 7 patients in a med-surg floor. But it is really not advisable to get those kind of ratios. It's very unsafe for the patient, and also it gives for nurses, you're gonna easily burn out if you get this kind of ratios. Not to mention if the patient acuity is already supposed to be on a step down unit, but there are hospitals that are already saturated with patients. So sometimes you have to deal with taking care of a patient in the med surg floor. So not to mention if they are bedbound, if they have like NGTs, central lines, wound vacs, pressure ulcers, um, peg tube, and some they have heparin drips. But yeah, today we're going to talk about how to organize your 12-hour shift handling a nurse-patient ratio of 1 is to 6 in a med-surg floor. This is based mainly of my experience handling 6 patients in a med-surg floor. So, yeah. Ideally, the safest nurse-patient ratio is 1 is to 4 or 1 is to 5. California lang gumagawa nan. I think Oregon and Massachusetts already started to implement such ratios. But hopefully, the states where you are in are also implementing the same nurse-patient ratio. Just a side note of my story, it's really tough to take care of 6 patients in a 12-hour shift, because you don't know what's going to happen in there during the shift. There's a lot of things that could happen. I was thinking before to really move to California because of the nurse patient ratio, but luckily I was able to find a hospital that has at least 4 to 5 nurse patient ratio naman. So yeah, let me just jump around and let you know on how to, like, tips on how to organize a 12-hour shift handling 6 patients in a med-surg floor. Number one, you have to prepare yourself prior to going to work, of course. So you have to rest well, mindset. I usually don't take any appointments a day before my shift, because I wanted to rest. Even if my friends would ask me to go to a particular area or mamasyal, I don't normally go with them because I need to make sure that I prepare my lunch for the next 3 consecutive days. And I will have to prepare myself, sleep well, and mindset and focused, and try not to stress yourself with other other things. Okay. And number two, you have to sometimes you have to arrive early in the area in order to check your patient assignment. But if you would be able to get your routine, sometimes I clock in on the dot if you get your routine. But if you are still new in the area, I would highly suggest you to come early to check your patient assignment, especially if you have 6 patients. I normally check the vital signs of the latest vital signs of my patients in order for me to see who of them is needs uh, needs attention or not. Sometimes we have what they call modified early warning score, in which it's not an acuity score actually. It's more on the vital signs. So you can check their Muse score if it's high or low, and check why it's high, and so you have an idea on what's going on with your patient. But you don't really need to read everything, okay, because you will be receiving report after huddle. So arrive early to check your patient assignment. Okay. Sometimes you apart from checking the vital signs, you can also check the latest lab results. I worked in a nephrology unit before, so electrolytes lab results is a very high, is very important, since sometimes their potassium or their electrolyte, there's a lot of electrolyte imbalances that will happen to these nephro patients. So I always check the lab results of the patient and their vital signs if I arrive early. And then number three, during the report, you have to check who needs your immediate attention. Sometimes you have to like coordinate with your tech that um, after the report you have to coordinate with your tech and tell them who needs to have blood sugar checks, who needs to have their vital signs be taken immediately. Um, you also have to ask the patient during the report if they are in pain or if they need medicines for them to get some sleep, because I work night shift. Why am I asking this to the patient? In order for me to bring those medicines on the time when their other medicines, scheduled medicines is due, para madala ko na lahat ng mga PRN medicines ko one at a time for these 6 patients. And number 4, we have to know how to bundle your activities. Sometimes if you are using an Epic electronic system, I always use the brain in order for me to see which medicines has to be given at 9 or 10, and then ibigay mo na yon all at the same time, at least in an hour window. And number 5 is focus. Focus on your job. I normally uninstall my Facebook, Instagram, Messenger during my shift. Why? Because that will sometimes take me out of focus on what I need to do. So just make sure that you have to focus on what needs to be done, especially if you're handling 6 patients and you have a lot of medications. You have like I sometimes their IVs doesn't work. That will throw you off your rhythm. And yeah, those are the 5 things that I would share to you. Number 1, prepare yourself before the shift. Number 2, arrive early to check your patient assignment. Number 3, check who needs immediate attention during report. Number 4, you have to know how to bundle your activities. And number 5, focus on your job in order for you to be on top of it. Thank you for watching. This is Nurse Cat. Bye-bye and God bless.
I want nobody but you. I want nobody